A Tribute to Sam Rockwell, Hollywood's Most Supportive Supporting Actor, by Samuel James Parvin. Sam Rockwell is mostly known as a supporting actor, but he deserves to be a household name. This seasoned and decorated artist is my favorite in the game.
Then how'd he do it?
Well, it happened inside the tubes, and no one really knows. Only the kid and the person he passed, and, well, Jesus Christ our Lord. But he's a little hard to get a hold of.
Sam Rockwell has been my favorite actor in Hollywood ever since I saw him in the way back in 2012 as Owen, and I was introduced to the mentor that I wish I had had in the coming-of-age story that I wish my life was. I quickly delved into his entire filmography and realized, and over the years consistently reaffirmed, the notion that even though he remains a character actor who usually plays more minor roles, he has the capacity to make any form of the content he is in appreciably better.
You trust me? You're still screwing that mafia guy. God knows what shit that prick's giving you.
From hidden gems like Mr. Right, Seven Psychopaths, and The Way Back, to blockbusters and Oscar winners, namely Iron Man 2, Three Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri, and Jojo Rabbit, Rockwell is unlike any other character actor in the game. A brief biography. Born in 1968 just outside of San Francisco in Daly City, California, Sam Rockwell carried on the lineage of actors from his mother and father, Penny Hess and Pete Rockwell.
The girls will practice important womanly duties, such as dressing wounds, making beds, and learning how to get pregnant.
As he split his time between California and New York, Rockwell was always around stages and screens alike. In an interview with Jimmy Fallon, he shared that one day his dad came to his primary school and told the principal that there was a family emergency with Sam's grandmother, and they needed to leave. In the car, he asked what was wrong, and his dad told him that nothing was wrong, they were going to the movies.
Hey, you want to get out of here?
What?
Is it creepy? I'm being creepy.
The priority and immersion of the cinematic and performing arts led to Rockwell's induction into that world at a young age. Starting at 10 years old, when he made a small appearance in his mother's improv comedy production in the East Village, where he played Humphrey Bogart. When he was in high school and more disciplined, and well known among his friends to be an aspiring actor, he got word that George Lucas, director of Star Wars, needed an actor to play a Care Bear for his son's birthday party, and hoping to secure an acting role from the job, Rockwell took the part, although it did not directly lead to his inevitable film career.
I got paid $50 to be at George Lucas's 4-year-old daughter's birthday party.
He began his delve into the industry through the genre of horror in 1989, still living in San Francisco. Although it wasn't until he moved to New York and started in the world of television in the 90s, where his career electrified. While he was acting in small roles in television and movies, he worked as a busboy and food delivery man to get by. His self-proclaimed turning point was after his role as the eccentric man-child in Box of Moonlight in 1996, and this led to a path of independent movies for the next few years of his career, a wheelhouse that he still frequents now.
No receipt?
What for?
So you can calculate your income when you pay your taxes?
Taxes? Are you fucking crazy?
In 2003, he played opposite Nicolas Cage in Matchstick Men, and perhaps the most backhanded and demoralizing compliment towards an actor that I've ever read, Entertainment Weekly said that Rockwell is destined by a kind of excessive interestingness to forever be a colorful sidekick. Rockwell has since had an extensive film career, both in the independent realm and big-budget Hollywood world.
Hey, Al. What? Sorry, Al, I thought you ducked.
Little
In 2019, he re-entered the television scene with his role as Bob Fosse in the critically acclaimed series Fosse Verdon alongside Michelle Williams. Putting the support in supporting actor. Sam Rockwell has had leading roles in a handful of movies, but he is best known for, and frequently shines most when the spotlight is not primarily on him. The amount of fun and passion he brings to his characters makes his on-screen appearance one to celebrate. Usually playing a wacky, larger-than-life character who has the capacity for deep and grounded moments, his characters can easily and routinely be described as lovable. Even in content that may not have a claim, Rockwell consistently brings a special ray of sunshine that can make anything that much better just by being himself. Perhaps the best case of this defibrillator-esque acting prowess can be seen in Iron Man 2.
You said no problem. That's what you said to me. You said no problem.
The sequel to the Paramount movie came out only 2 years later, rushed by the studio to write a script, shoot, and finish post-production in a very short amount of time. Because of this, the movie is known for a few well-done scenes, but as a collective, an unfleshed-out storyline that feels disconnected. Although many fans are passionate about a specific star in the film, Justin Hammer, played by Sam Rockwell. There are many blogs and videos dedicated to the notion that Justin Hammer was the best part of Iron Man 2, and many wish for him to be brought back into the MCU.
I took your stuff. How's that make you feel? Do you feel bad? Good.
Because that's how I feel!
Some are even hypothesizing that he is in the prison known as the Raft and will soon team up with Baron Zemo and John Walker from The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. What made Rockwell's Hammer so special was the success of the difficult task to act opposite Robert Downey Jr.'s Tony Stark. As another tech genius who has the ego and callousness of Stark without the respect or praise, Hammer's driving force is to one-up the Iron Man, going to any length, many of which amoral and downright illegal to get there.
What do you mean? That's the bird. This is the bird. Yeah. Pulled a lot of strings to get this bird. This is a great bird.
Rockwell brought all of his strengths to the table, from improv to dancing and from humor to cruelty. He really was on his A-game. Unfortunately, his performance was overcast by the true, yet underdeveloped antagonist of the movie, Whiplash, played by Mickey Rourke. Marvel had the wisdom to hire Rockwell, but failed to truly recognize just how indispensable he was.
And I know that you knew that I'd be listening. This is why I couldn't bear to have you shipped off to God knows where. It would have been such a waste of talent.
His other shining supporting cast moments include Jojo Rabbit and Seven Psychopaths. In the latter, Rockwell played Captain Klenzendorf, a Nazi soldier who was blinded and rescinded from his duties in the war and sent to be a leader of the youth Nazi camp, and ultimately became a mentor to the protagonist Jojo, sacrificing his life for the kids' freedom. He brings an inordinate amount of laughs throughout this dark comedy.
Hey, kid. Look at all this commotion, huh?
What's happening?
Hysteria, my friend. We've come to the end.
Yet, he also gives redemption to not only his character, but the absurdity of the movie by giving one of the most grounded and deepest scenes, with nothing more than a few lines and an out-of-shot muzzle blast. In Seven Psychopaths, Rockwell played Psychopath number 1 and number 7, being the main antagonist of the story, a rarity for the charismatic actor. Yet he wasn't without admiration. It seems as though it's impossible for him to play an unlikable character in his core filmography. A reverse hitman, a water park manager, and a sheriff. In my opinion, Rockwell's three most iconic performances are in Mr. Right, The Way, Way Back, and Three Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri.
You do not call an officer of law a fucking prick in his own station house, Mrs. A's.
Three Billboards must be on the list because it brought Rockwell his first Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor at the 2018 Oscars. Although, I would like to focus on the first two and how they solidify who Rockwell is as a performer. In Mr. Right, Rockwell plays a wacky reverse hitman, referred to as the title's name, who kills the people who hire him as part of a dissociated moral code, believing that killing is wrong.
What do you do?
I travel a lot, and I buy used cars, old cars, vintage cars. I travel looking for cars, and I kill people.
He falls in love with Anna Kendrick's character and teaches her his way of life, making for an action-packed love story that is the perfect amount of corny and sweet. The Way, Way Back sees Rockwell play Owen, a wacky water park manager who fails to take life or his job seriously until he meets the protagonist, Duncan, who Owen takes under his wing and becomes a mentor and father figure to in this coming-of-age dramedy.
Listen to me. That's about him. That's all about him. That's got nothing to do with you.
Yeah, how do you know?
Rockwell has a charisma about him that translates so well on screen when he is given the range to be himself. Owen and Mr. Right, in their respective movies, are introduced as complete character foils for each other. The former as a misanthrope who finds doses of fun in moments at a time, and the latter as an ignorantly cheerful killer who sees the joy and beauty in literally anything. Although on paper they seem so different, Rockwell is able to use his abilities to make them both so likable and unique.
My guest, if you can find him, last I heard he went into a deep depression. The fame was too much. He turned to cocaine to escape the limelight, and eventually a life of male prostitution.
These two hidden gems of movies are carried by the way he so graciously and seamlessly connects his talents and charm with the complexities of the characters. Sam Rockwell is a metaphorical glue stick of a movie star. Like a glue stick, not only is he fun and youthful, but you can stick him in anything and he will hold it together and make it stronger. He has never been too hung up about being the star of the show. Rather, he is ever focused on contribution and the maximum amount he's allotted, and maybe even more.
Oh, no, I'm fine.
Okay, now don't do that.
Tell you what?
Well, because later you'll
No,
say...
I'm not doing anything.
Trust me?
Yes.
You look hot.
Rockwell proves that you don't always need to have your name in lights to make a difference and produce fantastic content. Sadly, he is not a household name, but he should be. It is virtually impossible for a movie fan to have never seen him before, given his extensive filmography. And once you start to look out for him, your movie viewing world may be forever changed for the better, just like mine was. You can see, or rather hear, Sam Rockwell in the upcoming animated movie The Bad Guys, coming out in 2022, where he'll be starring alongside Awkwafina, Craig Robinson, and Mark Maron.